Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Chris Gildart, and welcome to an unscripted, disgusted episode on Pokemon Conquest 2, which hasn't been announced or anything. We want to talk about it. This kind of spawned out of an idea that popped into my head in one of my Let's Plays that if Pokemon Conquest 2 were a thing, I would like it to be based in the Three Kingdoms, but in like the same vein as the first game. So I've got a couple of guests on this to discuss what Pokemon would best suit some of the characters from Dynasty Warriors. And yeah, we're just going to debate. We've got 20 characters that we're going to talk about here. And so I'm going to let my guests introduce themselves.
Well, my name is Angelo Solis. I'm just local nerd. And
yeah, Angelo, you probably recognize his name at the end of, well, every single video. He's been one of my earliest supporters on Patreon, so thank you.
And I am the fourth Snake. I do YouTube videos, subpar ones, not very great. And my knowledge of Pokemon is limited to Generations 1 and 2, Smash Bros, and whichever ones the Pokemon community decides are sexy this week.
So Gardevoir.
Yeah, basically.
And I wouldn't say subpar videos, come on.
I would.
Toot your own horn a little bit.
How dare you, that's disgusting.
Hey, what you do in your own time is up to you. Anyways, so we're gonna go through these. I sent both of my guests a list of the 20 characters that we're going to talk about. We're going to go down them in list and separated by dynasty. And the first one, we're going to start it off the right way.
God.
So, let's talk about Cao Cao. Who do we think would be best suited for Cao Cao? The one that I wrote down here, I wrote Articuno. Now, Snake and I kind of talked a little bit about this before I decided to actually go forward with this as a video idea, and we were like, it's got to be a Phoenix, right? So I thought Articuno would fit well because it's that kind of, it looks like a Phoenix, and it still suits the ice motifs of his movesets from the games. What do you guys have for your picks for Cao Cao?
well, I ultimately went with, like, say, Darkrai due to mostly of a symbolic representation, like how Cao Cao is often seen as this rampaging demon that just destroys everything in his path, and when he's really trying to unify China for the better, it's similar to how Darkrai is seen as this horrid monstrosity that just plagues everyone with nightmares, but in reality is.
I like that. I actually have Darkrai later on in my list. So
That's a really good one, that.
Yeah.
For me, I'm still stuck between Ho-Oh and Articuno, because Ho-Oh is much more Phoenix-like in its design, whereas Articuno has the ice theme, of course, like Cao Cao's moves, and it's also blue, like Wei. So I'm kind of stuck between the two, because it has to be, well, in my mind, it has to be some kind of Phoenix or legendary bird, so between those two, I can't really decide.
Yeah, like, I ultimately went with Articuno just because the ice motif, and that's the main reason why I'm sticking with Articuno on my list. But I like the Darkrai. I do like Ho-Oh with the idea of that is definitely more of the Phoenix design. So, yeah, we've got some good thoughts there. So the next character is my main man, Shahodun. He's my favorite character. So for my pick for him, it was really hard to pick a really good character or Pokemon to fit his character. But I ultimately went with Duskull and that line of evolution, because if you look at the Duskull design, at first he kind of has one eye, and as he's evolving, he still only has the one eye. But like, I mostly went off of the Duskull design.
Well, when I was searching through it, I decided to go with Kartana, one of the Ultra Beasts from the Sun and Moon games. He's UB04 Blade, which is like the main weapon that Xiahou Jun uses, and he cuts a lot of things like Xiahou Jun's movesets, mostly.
Mine's a little more out there. I went with Unknown. Because the website I showed you with the sprites and that, which I used to as like a reference for a lot of these, because again I'm not that familiar with the newer generations. The Unknown it shows specifically is mostly just the eye, so I'm thinking he has this and it kind of replaces his left eye that he loses, and so he kind of uses that to help augment his sight in a strange way.
I like that.
And I personally like to imagine that he sometimes wears it as an eye patch.
One of the reasons why I instantly thought of Duskull was his Strike Force outfit, where the eye that he lost is glowing.
Yeah.
But the other Pokemon that I thought of was Honedge and that line, just because he tended to be like Cao Cao's right-hand man in the Dynasty Warriors series anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's safe to assume that these swords will come up more than once in these lists.
Yeah.
So if no one has anything else to say about Xiahou Dun, we'll move on to Dian Wei, the Coming Evil, who I got two picks for him. So the first one that came to mind was Mankey and Primate. And it kind of was like, he's this Mad Bull. Also, that's one of his weapons is Mad Bull. I just remember, is it Mankey or Primate that's in the anime that's just like fucking raging out?
It's mostly Primate.
And wouldn't listen to anybody.
Mostly Primate.
Yeah.
Started as a Mankey though.
What do you guys got for Dian Wei? Do you guys have anything?
For Dian Wei, I went with Tapu Bulu, one of the four guardians from Sun and Moon. First off, he has the bull aesthetic, which I see a lot with Dian Wei. And when you read his bio, it kind of reminded me a lot of Dian Wei in several ways. Like how he's like in Dynasty Warriors 7, I think it was, where he and Zhu Shu were tending to the fields. Yeah, Tapu Bulu known to tend the fields, but when he's enraged, he just has this massive rain of destruction on those that he rages against. Like there's this one location in Sun and Moon that's literally just literally a pile of ruins that's where Tapu Bulu was at one point.
Yeah, I'm looking at the design for Tapu Bulu, and I agree.
It also sounds like it would be a good fit for Shu Chu as well.
Yeah.
That's kind of showing me up though, because my choice is just Tauros, because the bull theme.
Yeah, Tauros was the other Pokemon I was going to mention.
Basic compared to how Tapu Bulu is like a parallel to Dian Wei's character.
I picked them because of the bull.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, on the topic of Shu Chu, the main reason why I didn't put him in here was because like I felt like Snorlax was like a...
Yeah, I could see Snorlax.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So the next character I had a really hard time figuring out. I've got two picks for him. Zhang Liao. So the first one I'll mention is Axu, Fracture, and Haxorus. Kind of got the thought of his weapons that he uses throughout the series, you know, from going from like that blue dragon kind of weapon to now wielding dual axes.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually had Haxorus as one of my options. I have two for him.
Nice. So who was your other one?
For the other one, I decided to go with Scizor. Mostly, Scizor is a really well-rounded Pokemon, and he dual wields with his two claws on his hands, and mostly The biggest influence for that was during the Battle of Hefei, where he withholds Hefei against an on-paging Wu army and pushes them back. It's similar to how Scizor basically plays, where he tanks it and then deals them back out.
Mine was Zeb Striker. Maybe that's how it's pronounced. I assume so.
Yeah, it is.
Because I'm kind of looking at it from the perspective of, because of Zhang Liao's, he really looks up to Lu Bu as like the pinnacle of what a warrior can be before he eventually realizes that's not really true and goes off and joins Cao Cao. So I figured an obvious choice for Lu Bu is of course going to be some kind of horse, and so I figured Zhang Liao might go in the same direction, just with a different horse Pokemon.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, sounds good.
So my second one was, while I was looking through his outfits, especially the Dynasty Warriors 7 outfit, I instantly thought of Gyarados. Just to kind of suit like the armor style that he has. Yeah, that's all I thought of. But then I thought of like, while he's with Lu Bu and Dong Zhuo, he can have a Magikarp, and then when he joins Wei, he can evolve into Gyarados.
Yeah, that's really good. That
I like that.
That's really good. That
all because of his armor. So the final Wei officer that we have on our list is Zhang He, and I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about him. For my pick, I thought, Caterpie, Metapod, Butterfree would be like the obvious one to go to.
Yeah.
But then, while looking into some of the other Pokemon, I ended up going with Scatterbug, Spupa, and Vivillon, because I thought that was a little bit more interesting to fit with his personality.
Yeah, I chose Vivillon for one of my two choices for him, mostly because of Vivillon has this gimmick where its wings pattern is based off of, as its mosaic wing pattern based off where you are in the world. So there's like 18 different variants.
Yeah, and then like while he's with Yuan Shao, it can be like some kind of yellow design, and then when he moves over to Wei, it can change.
Yeah.
I think Vivillion's wings kind of look like a Japanese paper fan, like Mitsunari would wield. I don't know if this is a newer one compared to Pokemon Conquest, but it's kind of surprising he didn't have that.
Yeah, it came out in Gen 6, which is after Conquest.
Yeah, definitely after Conquest.
Yeah, I think it would really fit, especially with his 3 design, where his headdress had a lot of pink in it.
Yeah.
But that's not today's subject. This is Dynasty Warriors, not Samurai. I just went with the two obvious ones, Butterfree and Beautifly. Because Butterfree's purple, so it matches his colour scheme, but I think Beautifly is a bit prettier, and I feel like he would gravitate towards that quite a bit.
Yeah, I was thinking Beautifly as well, but I ended up going with Vivillon just because of the overall design. I thought that it could work better towards his character.
I actually thought of another one that could fit with him, and it's Milotic. Mostly, if you don't know, in Gen 3 and Gen 4, there was this side option called Pokemon Conquest, which had its own individual stats, and one of them was its beauty. And in order to get Milotic, you had to level it up when it had its maxed beauty stat.
And that could be another thing where while he's with Yuan Shao, he could have the Feebas, but then when he goes over to Wei, it could evolve into Melodic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can actually see that a lot of the beautiful ones he goes for, the butterflies and such, would probably be in the unevolved forms when he's with Yuan Shao, as if to suggest that Yuan Shao is kind of suppressing his creativity, and that when he moves over to Cao Cao, who values that in Zhang He, it gets to come out more.
Yeah, I like that idea of like they evolve as they go along, and they kind of did that in Pokemon Conquest, I think, as well. Yeah, because even when they evolved, they kind of like their character sprite got some of the armor that suited that kind of Pokemon too. So
yeah,
Anyways, that's all of the officers we have for Wei. So now we'll move on to Wu.
Woo.
And,
You got to make a bad pun. I get to have one.
Oh, the more puns, the better. So the first one, I kind of lumped them all into the same group, is Sun Quan, Sun Jian, and Sun Ce. Just because I feel like they'd all have similar Pokemon, kind of like inheriting the dynasty as well as the Pokemon. So first off, I thought of Growlithe and Arcanine. So like, while Sun Jian is the leader, he could have an Arcanine, and the other two can have a Growlithe. And maybe after Chirby, Sun Quan kind of gives up the Arcanine and maybe gets an Entei.
I also went with Arcanine. It just... Because ideally there would have been a Tiger of Fire, but I don't think there is one.
Well, there is one, but it wouldn't really fit Sun Quan, any of their personalities.
Which one's that?
Incineroar.
Oh, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I do have Incineroar later on the list, and that's kind of why I didn't use it there. Because there is a character I think it would suit a lot better. So I struggled and thought, well, Arcanine's got kind of stripes. He's almost like a tiger.
He's
I
Yeah,
guess
that's
that
kind of...
works.
Technically speaking, Arcanine is based off of Shinsa, I think it's pronounced, which is a Chinese creature that's a combination of a dog, a lion, and a tiger. So...
Yeah, and I thought that kind of like suited them well because like the overall design is tiger in nature, even though it is more of a dog. And that's also why I went with Entei. Even though it's a dog, it's still that like fiery character.
I've just started to imagine now that at the Battle of Chirby, the fire is set by a Pokemon. All the way ships are burned down by a Pokemon, while another Pokemon's using like gust to blow all the flames towards the enemy ships. Oh
Yes.
God! Pokemon mass murder. This cannot be allowed to happen. Is this the great Pokemon War Lieutenant Surge spoke of?
Oh god.
It's canon, head canon. So what do you have for these guys, Angelo?
I also got Arcanine.
Okay. I had a feeling, like, that would just be the right way to go. I just threw in Entei to make Sun Quan just that little bit of a bump up
Yeah,
from...
I can see that.
Yeah. So the next one was the next person in the Sun family, Sun Shangxiang. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say for her. I put Litleo and Pyroar because you could. It still fits into that like fire animal kind of motif that the Sun family has going on for them. But also there's a female form that kind of they could work on that and have her have the female form when she evolves eventually.
Yeah, I also picked Pyroar too.
Nice.
I went with Torchic because it is small and cute, so I imagine it could have been given to her by her mother or her father, and then she evolves it all the way to Blaziken, and that suits her more tomboyish personality, and she fights alongside this actual fighter Pokemon, as seen in legendary video game Pokemon Tournament.
Oh,
Ooh.
I like.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I didn't even think of Torchic. Bravo, man.
Yeah.
So this next one, I actually don't have anything picked out because I couldn't think of the perfect one for Zhou Yu. What do you got?
Well, I decided to go with Ninetales, and this one's gonna take a bit of explaining. You see, in the older games, Arcanine and Ninetales were the version exclusives of each other. Now, version exclusives have always had a very unknown relationship. Some are complementary to each other, some are antagonistic towards each other, but Arcanine and Ninetales were ones that were never really given a sort of connection to. But I decided to go with it because I feel like it could they do complement each other. Arcanine's more the fast, ferocious, while Ninetales more the calm, serene. So to how Zhou Yu was more to the calm strategist to Sinsa.
I do like that. Like, now that you mention it.
Yeah.
Like,
I picked Vulpix, which would evolve into Ninetales, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
Really, I was just thinking, he needs a fire one. What would be a good fire one? How about this cute little one? Maybe he got it as a gift from his wife.
yeah. I like how you both came up with that. I'm just like, I got nothing, guys.
And you're the one who arranged all this. You should have done your research.
I'm sorry, I'm preparing for Musume.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for Musume to stay informed, guys.
This is going to be uploaded like at the end of Musume, so...
That still shouldn't deter you from liking, commenting, and subscribing, because this is a good
Exactly.
channel.
Like if you comment, subscribe.
And subscribe.
If you enjoyed Musume in that case.
Exactly. So, my wife just showed me one of her suggestions. She decided to sit this one out, but she threw up Fennekin, Braixen, and Delphox for Zhou Yu.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And I like that kind of idea, because it has that kind of sage strategist kind of look to it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fire psychic.
Yeah,
so.
Delphox came to my mind as soon as Force Snake said wand.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't have anything, and even my wife, who's not in this video, has something, so... Thank you. So the next one is Huang, which before we started the video, we kind of got off to a really good suggestion, which I think it was it you, Angelo?
Yeah.
Who?
It was a Delmise, basically
Yes.
living anchor with seaweed.
Was that your actual pick, or
No,
was it?
that was just what I said. I picked someone else.
Ah. All right. So, who I have written down? I have Tepeg, Pig Knight, and Embor. Just because they're like very big, beefy boys. That's about it.
I went with
The other one would have been.
No, go ahead.
The other one I would have picked was Timber, Girder, and Conkeldurr.
Ooh, nice.
Again, because they're big, beefy boys.
Yeah. I went with after giving it some thought, I decided to go with Poliwrath because he's also a buff boy, and it reminded me. I was playing Warrior Roshi's 4 recently, and his weapon there is the boat. It surfs on it, and so Poliwrath can learn surf. Also, back in the Stadium games and I think the GameCube games, the Poliwrath's idle animation is just him constantly flexing, which reminds me of Huang a lot.
I do like that. I mostly went with Embor just to keep up the fire.
Yeah.
But
Huang you surf. It's super effective. I don't think the one I chose could use surf. I chose Incineroar because Huang has a bunch of wrestling moves, and this is a fiery wrestler that is also a big buff boy. So I think that would suit him quite well.
yeah, that definitely suits him very well.
Yeah.
Actually, before we get too far from her, going back to Sun Shangxiang, I just thought, depending on the evolution line, Scorbunny could also be a good pick. I don't know what the evolutions are going to be like. Could be another firefighting, so
Maybe.
who knows. Just thought I'd mention that, because I forgot to write that down. Alright, so moving on from Huang we got Gan Ning, who I tried to look for some pirate Pokemon, but there are no pirate Pokemon. So, just looking at some of the Pokemon out there, I picked Gible, Gabite and Garchomp. Just reminded me of like a pirate type.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it's a shark.
But now that I think about it, Sharpedo would probably be even better.
Yeah, because Garchomp's a land shark.
That one could,
Exactly.
Sharpedo could also work for Huang, as the boat he uses. Is he ever using a boat to launch as a fire ship to spread the flames? He just launches a Sharpedo into the water. Starts sinking boats.
I decided to go with Gyarados due to his known as a terror of the sea, and also its very aggressive attitude reminds of Ning before he gets quote unquote tamed by Wu. It was similar to how Gyarados is very wild until its trainer manages to calm it, according to its biography.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Definitely a good pick for him. Oh, shoot.
Sorry. I tried to find a water Pokemon, but I really couldn't think of anything that fit. I did try Greninja at one point, but then I thought, well, he has done some raids and sneak attacks, but he is a lot more flashy than that. So I thought, oh yeah, he has the whole thing with the bells. So I gave him Bellsprout.
Yeah.
He has a Bellsprout on his belt, and it just lets out noise as he's running towards his enemies.
Yeah.
Oh wait, let me see. Yes, Chingling.
Oh yeah, Chingling and Chieko. Yeah, those they have bells in them.
Like as soon as you mentioned his bells, I was like, is he gonna mention this?
That is a very good fit, actually. I wasn't aware of this one.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
You can have both around his belt, it's fine.
Yeah. We'll just give him all the bells and whistles.
Someone should mod that, so when he's running in 7 and 8, he does actually make the sound of the bells. So
yeah.
just put it into it when he's running, you say, Bellsprout, 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 Bellsprout.
Alright, and with Ning, that's the end of Wu. So now, we're on to Shu. And I had a really freaking tough time picking for the brothers, because, like, you want them to match in some sort of way. So,
they were surprisingly tough, weren't they?
Yeah, I actually ended up not picking anything for Liu Bei, because I didn't figure anything out for him that would suit him individually, necessarily. I was thinking maybe Rayquaza, because it's got that kind of, like, dragon-esque look to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good work.
I think Rayquaza is one of the easy ones, kind of an all-purpose one that can be used for so many different characters.
Yeah, I used it for one character later down the line.
Same. We'd probably use it for the same character, let's be honest.
Probably.
For Rayquaza, he is not lightning, because that's the other thing. With Liu Bei using a lot of lightning, you'd want it to also match his kind of movesets.
Yeah.
And that's...
Wait, never mind. I had an idea, but then I remember the Lord is like, no, that would not work.
So, like, you could do Thundurus, Tornadus, and Landorus for the three brothers.
I could see that working.
Because, like, I feel like Thundurus would be Liu Bei, Tornadus would be Guan Yu, and Landorus would be Zhang Fei.
Yeah.
But other than that, I can't really think of anything else.
For Liu Bei, I decided...
Oh,
no, go ahead, finish.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I just couldn't think of anything else that would fit Liu Bei's kind of benevolence.
Okay. For Liu Bei, I decided to go with Gallade. Number one, he has the two blades, like Liu Bei does. And according to his bio, he goes around and helps those in need. And he could even learn the hidden move, Justified, which, when hit with a dark type move, he powers him up so he can hit back harder. Which in the Japanese version was literally called Heart of Justice.
I just went with Doublade because it's 2 swords. And it also works, because I realise this while looking at them now, that its unevolved form, Honedge, could also be used as Liu Shan's weapon. Pokemon, rather. That'd be strange, using it as a weapon. He could have that as his Pokemon, which suggests, oh, he's not as good as his father. His Pokemon's not even evolved to the same level. But he doesn't need to, because he has his own talents and other Pokemon in reserve.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then I guess that would mean that the Aegis Slash would be given to Shangxiang, because it's a sword and shield.
Yeah.
And
now that
so that way you can say that because she has the even more evolved form of Liu Bei, her and Liu Shan together are greater than Liu Bei, even though that's not really true. But it gives off that idea.
Yeah, now that you bring that up, Aegis Slash's special ability Form Change really does fit that symbolism, as its shield form, which is ultimate defense, and then its sword form, which has ultimate attack.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that mixture. So for Guan Yu, I put Shiftry, just because I was trying to find the Pokemon with the greatest beard. And this was the only thing that I could think of.
I feel like I'm forgetting something. When you mention Pokemon and greatest beards. I'm probably not going to remember throughout this video, so I'm just going to forget about it.
So what do you guys have for Guan Yu?
I have Rayquaza.
Yeah, pretty much. Although I do have a backup one, which is Rapidash, which I imagine he gets from defeating Lu Bu. He inherits stats from Lu Bu after he's defeated, but he also has the Rayquaza because he is Green Dragon.
Yeah, I picked it because Guan Yu's depicted as a god in most cultures, and Rayquaza is so broken that people wonder what Game Freak was smoking.
Oh, do you not get it? See, its name is Rayquaza, and it's OP. It's Ray from Star Wars.
Oh god.
And your comment section is now destroyed. You are welcome.
It's probably not as bad as my Neo versus Dark Souls comparison.
Could bringing up Ray be considered an act of terrorism? I feel like it could be.
Depends on intent.
To destroy.
Yes.
Oh god.
So, moving on from Guan Yu, the final brother, Zhang Fei. Again, I had a difficult time picking a specific character. I ended up going with Geodude, Graveler, and Golem. Specifically the Alolan versions. Because they have a bit of a beard to them. The Alolan Golem kind of reminds me a bit of Zhang Fei in looks. But also, Zhang Fei's a pretty big guy. So, even when he gets drunk, he's still pretty tough to take out. And I just picture him being like, solid as a rock, you know?
Yeah.
That one could fit Guan Yu as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, it could. For Zhang Fei, I went with either Primeape or Tauros, mostly because those are the two primary poster child for the ability Anger Point, which, when they get hit with a critical hit, they just boost their attack stat to maximum.
I do like that.
With me, I was trying to find some kind of Oni or Ogre. I don't think Game Freak has used that as a basis for one yet.
Not
that
I
I could find.
I don't think they have.
Which, considering they've got over 800 of them at this point, you'd think they would have used it at least once. just once. So I just went with Ursaring, which is just a big bear.
Oh, Ursaring?
Yeah, that worked.
In the anime,
then
it's used for a lot of raging attacks.
Teddy Ursa is unevolved form. That can be given to Xingtai.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of thing he would give to his little girl.
I mean, he could start with it, and then maybe after, either after Lu Bu and Xiaopi or after Chirby, it could evolve.
Could do. Ooh, maybe it's when... That's his secondary Pokemon, his another one is his primary. But then, once he has his daughter and he has something to really protect, boom, it's a big bird that's going to do whatever it takes to keep that little girl safe.
I like that.
Which includes mauling people.
I definitely could see that.
Alright, and with that done, that's the three brothers, but now we gotta move on to the poster boy Zhao Yun, and of course we have to give the poster boy Pikachu to match the poster boy of Pokemon. But that's the only reason why I chose Pikachu, because match the poster boys. What do you guys think?
Well, Yukimura didn't do that, did he? He just had a little fire thing, so you don't... It's fine, it works, but I think you have some flawed logic.
Yes, it's definitely flawed. I had one, but I forgot to write it down before starting the recording, but
I decided...
I feel like he could also be Honedge, that sort of lineup, because, you know, he's Liu Bei's sword and shield.
Yeah,
that works. I went with Lucario because of all the over-the-top... one, he gets a lot of over-the-top scene, which Lucario is basically a Pokemon version of an anime protagonist, even with his own super powered-up form. And
he, in the English version, he's actually voiced by Goku, so...
Well, that works, too. And number 2, he, just like Gallade, he can also get the ability Justified. And he could also have the ability Inner Focus, which makes he can never flinch. Similar to how Zhao Yun's always charging in through, I think it's like Chamban, I think it was, where he rescued Lushan. I think it was.
Yeah.
For me, I took it back to when he was serving Gong Sun Zan, because I recall that Gong Sun Zan had his horsemen in silver armor. So I thought that could be an interesting idea. I couldn't really find any that were silver themed or silver in the name, but that did then lead me into, steel type, let's try that. And I found Escavalier. I'm probably saying that wrong.
Escavalier.
But it's basically just this little thing with 2 lances. I think that sounds about right for Zhao Yun.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more Nagamasa if we're going to go overall Muso, but for Dynasty alone, I think it suits Zhao Yun quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Also, my wife just gave another suggestion. She mentioned the Oshawott line. Mostly, I'm guessing mostly for Samurott. Because if you're going to give Zhao Yun anything, it'd be more like a samurai-esque kind of Pokemon.
True.
There's something about DeWatt's stance where it's like staring meaningfully into the distance. That seems like the thing Zhao Yun would have done before heading off to meet up with Liu Bei.
Yeah.
Or when he stands before his enemies.
Back to a Scavalier. It actually has an interesting thing where you can get it by trading with a very specific other Pokemon. So, like it's similar to how Zhao Yun became his famous officer once he left Ganzuzang and went to someone else.
Nice.
I like it. Again, this is going back to the idea of like sometimes people's Pokemon might evolve once they start serving under their true lord kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, the final shoe boy that we got is Zhuge Liang. And this one, I really wanted to find somebody with a fan. I couldn't...
I did.
I couldn't find one with a fan, but I've got 2 that I'm I've got suggestions for is Snivy, Servine, and Seviper.
Superior.
Or Superior, that's it. Just because, Zhuge Liang's kind of a mysterious person. He's kind of snide and kind of suited that. But the other one was Rowlet, Dartrix, and Decidui?
Oh, Decidui, yeah.
Yeah. But then I thought maybe that would better suit Sima Yi, because apparently one of the things that Sima Yi could do was turn his head around 180 like an owl.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that working.
I think Snivy's actually a good choice because its tail kind of looks like a fan.
Yeah, it
and
does.
then when it evolves, it becomes a snake, which kind of looks like a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that working.
And then when he joins up with Liu Bei, the sleeping dragon has awoken. Oh, it's fully evolved now.
So, I like that.
Yeah. I decided to go with Oran Guru. I'm guessing you've never heard of him.
Ooh. Oh, that looks basically spot on.
Yeah. He has the fan, and and according to his Pokedex, he instructs others but prefers to keep himself alone and isolated, similar to how Zhuge Liang did before he was convinced by Liu Bei. He even has a signature move called Instruct, which literally tells someone how to do something.
I like it. That's essentially like the Pokemon I was looking for.
Yeah.
I had just kind of the two obvious ones. At one point, first I was thinking Rayquaza, because it's a green dragon, before I gave that to Guan Yu. And then I thought Snorlax, because sleeping.
Yeah.
I did see another one actually on this list before. It's from one of the later generations. Mian Shao.
Oh, Mian Chao, yeah.
Yeah, it's got these big sleeves and kind of like almost like a big Chinese mustache, which kind of looks like Zhuge Liang in a way. Although it might be a little more suited to Sima Yi.
Yeah, I can see it more suited to Sima Yi.
Alright, and with that being said, we're done of Shu. Now, some of you might be thinking we're going to move on to Jin, but fuck that shit. This is the Three Kingdoms, and we're going to talk about some other characters.
Jin is saved for the Pokemon Conquest 2.5 expansion pack.
Buy now for the low price of $49.99.
For a game that would most likely be $39.99.
So, of course, I had to put Zhang Jiao on here, just because he's going to be the first boss that you come up against. Who's he going to be? I have two picks for him, and the first one that I instantly thought of was Lunatone, just because of his hair in Dynasty Warriors 9.
That's fair.
He looks like a moon.
Yeah.
The second one was Arceus, because,
First boss already come up with God.
He kind of has a... Sorry?
Oh, nothing. It's like, imagine it. First boss, and you're already fighting God.
But, like, he has a very Christianity kind of feel to him, so I thought Arceus, but then I thought, that's too big of a Pokemon right at the beginning.
Yeah.
See that the kind of thing you might do if you had some kind of like bonus mission late in the game where, Zhang Jiao's actually alive, because, well, I guess you'd have expected him to survive in Pokemon, and then he just comes back with a way more powerful Pokemon that he just found while off in the mountain somewhere.
Yeah, and like he could come back with Arceus. That's the only way I could see Arceus working for him.
Hypotheticals. I decided to go with Alakazam, mostly because he's like a definition of mystical powers, similar to how Zhang Jiao uses.
And he's yellow.
Yeah, and he's yellow. And he also has a wide variety of moves similar to the different spells that Zhang Jiao uses. Particularly in
Yeah, and Zhang Bao and Zhang Liang could have Abra and Kadabra.
Yeah.
Mine was I did consider some kind of god type Pokemon. I also thought a fossil could work. Like you could find it and think it's a sign from the heavens. And I kind of just settled on Togepi. Specifically because in the anime it could basically do anything. And so I think he could find that, and that's basically the source of his magic. Because he has this Togepi that can just do anything.
Oh yeah, with Metronome.
Yeah. I could see that working. Or if you want to continue with the can do anything idea, Ditto. This Pokemon can turn into any other Pokemon and can use their moves. It must be God.
Yeah. Or if we...
I feel like there has to be a character that Ditto would be perfect for. Like, is there not a character who just copies other people's moves or takes things from characters or something like that?
Nothing I could think of.
And no one I can think of.
Well,
maybe Han Dong, just to be like, remember me.
Oh.
I'm the one that turns into everyone else.
Oh yeah.
and that's why no one remembers him.
Yeah. Since we're on the topic of Metronome, that brings up Clefairy, since it's have ancient origins and it's like the key user of Metronome.
Ooh. I just thought of one. Because in like some of the earlier games, he uses a lot of like weather to like prove that he has magic. So what about cast form? And not just like he could have the normal cast form, and like his brothers could have the different forms of cast form.
Yeah, that could work. Weather Ball can, and that ever-changing Weather Ball could be his sign that he's God. I can see that working.
Alright, so you just beat Zhang Jiao. Now it's time to take on Dong Zhuo. And what Pokemon does he have with him? Well, I put Trubbish and Garbodor.
I have to step in here because I believe those two are more suited for Bao Sanyang, the trash tier waifu. I have now further destroyed your comment section. I'm kidding, no one likes Bao Sanyang.
Yeah, true.
Oh. But yeah, I just like, I wanted to pick the most garbage Pokemon. And while we were looking through a little while ago, Chelsea was like, is there anybody who's just utter garbage? And I was like,
Yes, literally.
But like the other one would be Snorlax that I thought of.
Honestly, I would prefer. I think the Guzzlord would fit that role if we were going that angle.
What was
Guzzlord? UB, I think it's like O2 Gluttony.
Ah.
Ooh. That definitely looks like something that's somewhat intimidating. The kind of thing he could use to scare people.
Yeah.
I could see that, for sure.
Yeah.
The other one that I thought of was Grumpig. Just because Lubu tends to refer to Dongzhuo as a pig. But then I was like, it's not really all that intimidating in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. I actually had a few choices for Dongzhuo. Well, first was that Guzzlord one. He's not, and he wouldn't be the two out of place since he's not really that strong a Pokemon for as early as he appears. There's also a Muck. It could be either form, because his regulars are like a pile of poison, and his alone form is a pile of poison with a bunch of chemicals mixed in. Like how he's often referred to as a poison to the land. There was also Electro, because he's known for exploding, for his bomb weapons.
And that's how he destroys the capital.
Yeah. And then finally there was Wheezing, if you wanted a little bit of both of the poison and the exploding.
It's also round like his belly.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, if you look at the Weezing's the little one head that's almost like a little growth, it's like commentary on how he is a parasite on China's society.
Yeah.
I can see that working.
I just went with Embo because of the pig thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
and
it is a fire type, yes, and so that's another way he can burn the capital down.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. So, of course, if we're talking about Deng Zhuo, we have to talk about Lu Bu. And I've actually got like quite a few for Lu Bu. And really one of the first ones that kind of got me thinking about Pokemon Conquest was Unpheasant. Just because it's got that almost a similar headdress.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, that's definitely not going to be the thing that Lu Bu has. So
if they can have a team, he might have that as one of them as a gift from Diao Chan or his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it could be just the one his daughter has.
Yeah, it could be Luling Chi's Pokemon for sure.
Yeah.
But I also put down Rapidash for red hair.
I also did.
Yeah.
Rapidash.
I myself, I was thinking about Lu Bu, and then what is Lu Bu's most defining characteristic? And it's how he boasts about him being the strongest there ever was. And a Pokemon that often boasts about how strong it was, the strongest Pokemon ever created, was Mewtwo. And also that,
Yeah.
and since we're on that, I got thinking about what if it could be Shadow Mewtwo from Pokken Tournament, a Pokemon that constantly goes around seeking more power.
Now, I also wrote down Darkrai for a similar reason that you gave Angelo for Cao Cao, where he is constantly causing nightmare and terror to everybody that surrounds him. But I wouldn't necessarily say that Lu Bu is misunderstood.
No. It's like, that misunderstood part's kind of the key part of Darkrai.
Yeah.
For me, I had Rapidash, but two others. Pheromosa, which kind of looks like a giant cockroach. So it has like the antlers, like things that he does. The antenna.
Not gonna lie, just to break off the beaten path here, my friends and I used to call Lu Bu the cockroach back in Dynasty Warriors 3, just because of his headdress. He'd be like, "Who are you playing as?" "I'm playing as the cockroach."
My friends call him the Beetle Man.
And once he brought his daughter into it, his nickname became Papa Roach.
You did that on purpose.
Love it.
So I've got Pheromosa, and also, because it's the one right before it, Buzzwole, because it's basically... It's pretty much the same thing, but on steroids.
Look at Buzzwole.
So it kind of almost looks like Lu Bu in a way.
A bit, yeah. I got a point for that, but I'll wait till we move on, because if I tell it now, we're gonna be jumping around a bit.
Well, the next one we have on the list is Diao Chan, and there could be a bunch that go for her. But I put Ralts, Kirlia, and Gardevoir for the dancing style that Kirlia and Gardevoir kind of have, like the dancing and elegant look to them.
Yeah. I went with Pheromosa, because is UBO2 Was it 2 or 3? I don't know. But she's named Beauty, and her Pokédex says that she releases pheromones that attract people, similar to her role in the downfall of Dong Zhuo. And that's another thing, is like, if Lubu is a buzzword and pheromones, those two are considered version exclusives of each other, as I mentioned before, about relations between them.
Yes, so that could work.
Yeah. Another one I got, depending on how you view Jiao-chan, if you viewed her as the poisonous type, like she sometimes referred to as in some games, there's also Salazzle, which again releases pheromones and controls the males of her race.
I could see that.
I was thinking along the same kind of lines with the dancer and such, but I also thought that another theme of hers is flowers. So I went with, well, I considered Gardevoir. I ultimately settled on Bellossom.
Yeah.
A little dancing flower.
I did think of Blossom as well, but I ultimately chose Gardevoir for that more elegant look to it.
Sure.
And finally, the last character that we're going to talk about is Yuan Shao. Another one that I had a very hard time nailing down who I would give to him, because you kind of have to like make it something that's royalty and thinks that it's better than everything else. So I went with Glameow and Purugly. Just because, you know, it looks like that sort of cat that would be like, yes, I am in your presence, and you will worship me.
Yeah, look at the riffraff.
I picked one. It's gonna take a bit of explaining, but I went with Cobalion. First off, its looks. It has Yuan Shao's mustache. Literally.
Yep,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah. And then it has that royalty, just like Yuan Shao does. And finally, this is going to take a bit of explaining. It has Justified as a natural ability, which represents the nobility of Yuan Shao. However, if you look into the lore about the Swords of Justice, while they have noble tendencies, they tend to have this thing about believing that they are way too, I wouldn't want to say better, but above rescuing humans. Their justice is basically exclusive to Pokemon, unless they need to rescue a human for Pokemon's benefit. I was originally considering one of them for Liu Bei, but that's why I went with Gallade. Why I did, because while theirs is exclusive to just Pokemon, Gallade will help anyone. Show a difference between someone like Yuan Shao and Liu Bei.
Yeah, I can see that.
For me, I went with Persian. It just seemed like I think it might be mainly because in the anime Giovanni has one, so it kind of gives off this air of being the kind of one that'll be owned by like rich, powerful, important people.
It has the exclusive Payday, which makes money.
Yeah, I was also thinking that like, it may have helped his family to reach this point where they are so rich. It's just, I'm going to use Payday all day. And that's why I make lots of money. Haha. See how many people get that reference?
So the other one that I thought of was Roselia and Roserade. I don't know why, it just kind of had that like elegance to it. But I think like going more along the lines of Persian or Purugly kind of like suits his I am better than everybody else kind of stance.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Although, to Roserade's credit, it is based off of Zoro with the whole fencing thing that Yuan Shao uses as his primary weapon.
I also didn't want to give Yuan Shao too good of a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's still he'd be the boss of what, like chapter 4, maybe 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have to consider, because this would be a game, you have to consider the progression.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you don't want to give somebody too big of a Pokemon. Except maybe Lubu, and that can be like the whole like, oh, we took it down a legendary Pokemon.
Yeah. And it could give it an excuse for don't pursue Lubu early on.
Yeah.
Don't pursue him. He's got that massive swole roach thing that's gonna mess you up, bro. That's an exact quote from Cao Cao.
Exact. Like it's in the novel. I own the novels. I can confirm. So that's all the characters that I had a list for. Was there anything that you guys maybe thought of while doing your research that was like, hey, this would work really well with so-and-so, similar to how I went like Snorlax with Chu-Chu?
Well, I did think before, it's Chansey, isn't it, that's in the Pokemon Center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good fit for Liang because she has that Healing Rain Muso attack. So she's because she's like a motherly figure who protects people and looks after them and has some healing capability. I thought that would be a good fit for her.
One I thought of was a Dusknoir to Jia Chong, because he has that Reaper thing going on, and Dusknoir evolves using a Reaper's cloth.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't talk at all about Jin, so if there's anybody you think for Jin, I mean, I thought of that Rowlet lineup to be for Sima Yi.
Guo Huai coughing. And he's not ill in this version. He just has his Pokemon out at all times, and he doesn't react well to it.
Maybe Dong Ai with maybe Rhyperior, because drills.
Yeah. That would work. I'm like looking through. Maybe if you don't use Arceus for Zhang Jiao, you can use Arceus for Zuotzi.
Oh, Joshi? Yeah.
Yeah. He's show up once and uses Pokemon for a few rounds, then just leave. Seems about right.
Yeah. Oh, there was one other I was thinking of.
There's just so many of them to go through.
I know, it's like, okay, who's
Oh, this would be a good one. Well, how many am I down? Oh, 500 out of 800. Oh.
Oh, maybe for Chen Gong, Sandile, Krokorok, and Crocodile.
I can see that working.
I think Pawniard and Bisharp could be the normal enemies.
Yeah.
Because Bisharp basically looks like just a generic soldier from some RPG.
It is based off the pawn piece, so...
I'm sure I saw this in an actual game. It might have been like Final Fantasy or something. Oh, that's it. It kind of reminds me of the Tekken Force. Where they are in Tekken 4, yeah. So that works as just generic fodder to beat up all the time. Ooh, I think Xiao Xiao could have Pancham and Pangoro, because that's the kind of thing she would go for. There's that big cuddly panda that becomes this big roided up dude that beats people up. And yes, she does ride on its shoulder, because of course she does. Let's go get him, and Zhou Yu's like, no, wait, please come back.
Well, how about what was it? Nidoking and Nidoqueen for the non-Mon couple, Mengbo and Jurong.
Yes. I like that. I knew there was a couple that would do really well as Nidoking and Nidoqueen, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it.
Pretty much, yeah.
But I just came across somebody else who might not be too bad for Yuan Xiao. Sylveon?
Sylveon? Remind me which one that is?
That's the newest evolution.
Oh, Sylveon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, I think the list I'm looking at is outdated. I don't see that anywhere. What gen are we on? 7, 8?
We're currently at 7, going on 8.
Ah.
Yeah, so this is from Gen 6.
There's too many. There's too many. They should have stopped like 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, soon we'll have enough Dynasty Warriors characters for every line of evolutions and Pokemon.
Eventually. Maybe. I doubt
Look
it.
at Warriors Odyssey 4. 4 has like Warriors Odyssey 4 has 190 characters. Practically there with that.
Oh god. Pokemon Conquest 3 could be Warriors Orochi.
And you recreate the intro from the first game, but on the ships it's not Lubu and Tadakatsu fighting, it's their Pokemon.
Yep. Ugh.
Oh, this sounds amazing. You're in the middle of an event, then all of a sudden, like, Lubu and Tadakatsu both show up with their Pokemon to have a duel. And you're just like, I don't want to get involved in this. Run away.
Koei Tecmo, Nintendo, you can take my idea, just give me free copies.
You say free copies or free coffees?
Both. I will take both. Okay, so I've like gone up and down through this list multiple times. I can't think of anything else that's like popping out to me that's like, oh, this is definitely so-and-so's Pokemon, or this would definitely match.
I just thought of one. Dong Bai and Gothitelle, because Lolita.
Yeah?
I'm trying to think of one for Hitmonchan. Well, Hitmonlee could go to Guansua because he's got the Greaves now. Well, he did before they changed it again. Because why should things be consistent ever? But with Hitmonchan, I was thinking you could go for Monghuo or Dingfeng, but Dingfeng doesn't really suit it. He's a bit more on the poetic side.
Well, maybe if you're giving Hitmonlee to Guansua, you could give Hitmonchan to Guanqing.
True.
Or maybe
That could work.
Oh, never mind. That wouldn't fit. I was thinking like maybe you could make something out of Guanxing and Zhang Bao's rivalry, but then nah, Hitmonlee better suits Guansua.
Gerda for Guan Yinping.
Yes. I love it. 10 out of 10. Tangela and Tangrowth for Wei Yan.
You could put him in his Dynasty Warriors 6 design and then have basically any crocodile-themed Pokemon.
Yeah?
It's a bit of a weird look for him, that one, wasn't it?
I actually really enjoyed that, and I loved when he turned into the Strike Force form, and it just, like, kept it going.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I look at it, Fortress kind of reminds me of Wei Yan's mask a little bit.
There must be a character that would be perfect for slacking. It's just this big, fat, ugly guy scratching his belly. And I feel like there's a character that's really well suited for, but I just can't place it.
I mean, you could give it to Choo Choo, but I feel like Snorlax is a little bit more suited to Choo Choo than slacking.
I guess Dong Zhuo, because he is
Maybe?
kind of this big, fat, pig-like man. And this pose I'm looking at specifically is the kind of pose he would definitely take when watching Diao Chan dance.
I'm pretty sure I've seen Slackoth and Dong Zhuo in the same pose. Actually, can confirm. Because, like, I just threw in Dynasty Warriors 7 for no reason today. And during the Wei story, Cao Cao is talking to Dong Zhuo while he's sitting on the throne. But while he's sitting on the throne, he's kind of, like, sprawled out and, like, just got his hand, or his head on his hand, and yeah. It looks exactly like slacking.
With the very specific art I'm looking at, I think Dong Zhuo would be that evolutionary line, but I assume they're an evolutionary line in reverse. Like, first he's leaning on his elbow, like, oh, this is the life of slacking. Then Lu Bu kicks a door in, and he's stood up like, uh-oh, like Vigoroth, with that look on his face, like, oh no, things going down. And then Lu Bu just kills him, and he's lying on the floor like Slackoff.
No, I feel like someone would also be really good as Shedinja. But the only thing that I can think of is Huche
Yeah.
who is not playable.
It's weird, because he's had that mask on since 7, and they've not made him playable.
Wait, who?
And they took note of him and thought, yeah, this guy deserves to have a slightly unique model, and then they did nothing with him.
Yeah, to answer your question, Angelo, it's Huche
Oh, Hoocher. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I feel like he would be Shedinja. Oh, just found a better one for Choo Choo. Whale Lord.
Whales.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Getting footage for this.
I got one right. Liu Shan, because this Pokemon's name basically describes him. Slowking.
Oh, Slowking.
Here's one for Liu Shan. Bidoof.
Bidoof?
I've got another one. It's when you have Liu Bei and his Swan brothers together, like they could have Doug Trio, Dodrio, or Magneton. For they are 3 in 1.
Their unity signified when they evolve into a Magnezone.
Yeah, I can't see anything else that's like jumping out to me at like, oh yeah, this is definitely someone.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Be sure to let us know down in the comments what Pokemon you would assign to what Dynasty Warriors characters, and be sure to like and subscribe as well.
Like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to everybody. Subscribe to everything on the internet.
Subscribe to PewDiePie. Subscribe to Drake Jojo. He's a good choice. I say subscribe to Oh My Josh if he actually made any content anymore. Should we start handing out wanted posters? Missing posters because he's gone missing.
I've seen him post. Not on YouTube, but I've seen him post.
Slacker. Absolute
He posted
slacker.
when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out.
Oh, yeah. He's probably still playing it right now. He probably hasn't stopped.
Hey.
Well, anyways, let's end this episode because we've just been kind of shooting the shit now. It's gotten past the actual topic of the discussion.
Yeah.
So anyways, everybody, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, as Snake said, like, comment, and subscribe for more. It's Muso May. There's probably just like 2 more days left of Muso May, so keep an eye out for more videos to come. And there's going to be a schedule change coming in June, so there's going to be 5 videos every week. So keep an eye out for that as well. You should subscribe to Snake, because he does some awesome videos as well. If you like critiques and plot stuff. Words are tough, man.
Plot analyses and reimaginings, because NetherRealm Studios is not good at writing. And even outside of my own videos, in other people's videos, I will never stop taking the piss out of NetherRealm. You cannot stop me. No one can stop me. I will not be silenced.
Stop.
Okay.
Also, special thanks goes out to the Guild, who support this channel via Patreon. Thank you, Angelo, for joining us here. You see his name right there on the screen.
Hey.
If you'd like to join him and the other folks in supporting this channel, you can join their names at the end of every single video for just $1 a month. You can get your votes in on the weekly Let's Play challenges for $3 a month, and early uploads of scripted videos at $5 a month. So there's something there for everyone. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my guests for coming out. Thanks to the Guild for all their support, and I will see you all down in the comments.